without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Nicole, lifting the veil off Botox and Fillers.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Nicole Langer, and I am here to finally lift the veil of Botox and fillers. Because what happened a couple years ago, as we all know, we had a pandemic that ended up becoming an epidemic on another level. So, we were all home and we're all, in our pajamas, and I was guilty of this. My husband would be like, "Are you going to shower today?" Because I would have my day pajamas and then my night pajamas, and I'm like, "Am I just gonna get ready here?" Because we would all of a sudden get on Zoom, and a phenomenon happened, and this phenomenon is called Zoom dysmorphia. It's actually a real thing. You can look it up. So what happened with COVID is, we were all stuck at home. We were flattening the curve, if you will, and Zoom went up 300, 400 fold. It was insanity how many people were getting on Zoom. And how often, or how long, I should say, are you looking in the mirror? So when you're looking in the mirror, you're getting ready for the day, and then you're out the door. You're not standing there looking at yourself super long, and you're not watching yourself talk. You're not talking to yourself in the mirror. Now, some of you may do that because you're doing affirmations or things like that, but you're not really watching yourself. And what Zoom did is it changed the game for a lot of people, because when you're on Zoom, human nature shows that when you're looking on Zoom, you're looking at yourself the entire time you're on a video conference call. That happens. It's just natural. You don't feel bad about it. But what happened was people started to see how their face moved. They started seeing the inflection, how their lips would move, and like, all of a sudden I got this weird wrinkle here, and I look old, and I'm looking bad, and people started tearing themselves down and saying, this is not who I remember, who I thought I was, and what I look like in the mirror. Because when on video, you look different. And so Zoom dysmorphia really is that negative perception of yourself by taking long periods of time staring at yourself on video. That is what it is. And it has become an epidemic, and we saw in the aesthetics industry a huge curve go up. It was the hockey stick. There were so many people now going into aesthetics that never thought they would ever go into aesthetics and get a little touch up here, a little Botox there, never in a million years. And a lot of men were in these clinics, and they didn't, and the industry was trying to understand why, and it ended up being because of Zoom and watching yourself and seeing how you really are aging. So today, I'm gonna lift the veil, and I'm gonna start out with some history, because there's a lot of misconceptions and misnomers about Botox. So I wanted to go into a little bit about how Botox came about and what it is. So Botox is botulism toxin. Yes, it's botulism. And it was first tested by surgeons in 1978. Can you imagine those humans, like how much Botox are they gonna put in? Where are they gonna put it? I mean, that was a real thing that they had to deal with, of what was the dosage and what muscles they were gonna inject it in, and at what level, because Botox needs to be diluted or reconstituted. So the studies started out with eyes, because people that had issues with their eyelids, that were their uncontrolled closures and hyperactivity with the eye. That's how it started. And then what happened was Allergan, so the 10 years they were studying about the eyes. Allergan, which is a pharmaceutical company, they saw this happening. They're like, we're gonna buy into this. They bought the rights to Botox. Botox is actually a brand. It's kind of like Kleenex is for tissue. It is an actual brand. And so they own it, and then the next year they got FDA approval for the purposes of treating around the eyes for those indications of hyperactivity and uncontrolled eye closure. Then what happened was they started doing studies at the University of Illinois, and all the cases are coming back going, I have no wrinkles around my eyes. So they have these issues with hyperactivity, and they're getting Botox to help with that, and the end result is they have no wrinkles as well as no more hyperactivity. And so that kept coming back to the researchers, and they're like, what is going on with this? And brought it back to Allergan, they looked into it, and they studied it for 10 years and got it FDA approved to be a cosmetic use. And that is when life changed for all of us, that we could turn back the clock in 2022. And then it went into more things like hyperhidrosis. So if you have excessive sweating, or know of anyone with excessive sweating in the armpits, hands, or feet, they can inject Botox that lasts about 6 months, no more sweating. It's awesome, and it's actually not gonna, people are like, well, I need to sweat because it's important, that's one of the ways our body gets rid of toxins. It will come out in other ways, but you can reduce excessive sweating, especially if it ruins your shirts. Like a lot of guys have that issue if they have excessive sweating. And then migraines got FDA approved in 2010. So there are some really cool ways that Botox is being used. Now, what Botox isn't is this. So a lot of people think, okay, Botox, I'm thinking botched, because the word is so close.
Yeah.
It's a word association. They think botched is Botox. That's not it. That is plastic surgery. That is people with real dysmorphia that are asking their surgeon for more and more. A surgeon wouldn't normally do this. It's the patient that is doing this. So we turn those people away. We do not do that to our patients. But that's how we do. That's how you want to handle things. Is you look at it as, all right, what are their needs? What are they looking for? This is plastic surgery. This is Botox. So Botox, what it does is it calms the muscle and deactivates the muscle, if you will, so it's not contracting. So I don't care what serum, lotion, potion you're putting on your skin, you need to take care of your canvas. You need to have good skin care. But when you have Botox, you can't make that happen to your forehead, so you're not going to have those lines anymore. And you can do it around your eyes as well, so the lines won't be as severe. I can still move, it's not like I'm paralyzed, but I won't have as severe lines as I normally would have. And this lasts about 3 to 4 months. The FDA says 64 units for the glabella area, around the eyes, the forehead. That is the dosage, and dosage equals duration. You want it to last 3 to 4 months? You need to get 64 units. If you're a bodybuilder or you're a runner, you're going to need to come in more often because you're going to burn through it, meaning you're going to metabolize it faster. And you can reconstitute it 1 to 1, so it's really accurate, or 1 to up to 2.5, so that it's a little bit more drippy, meaning it's diluted more. So it's good for this area, so you're not using as much Botox in the armpit or under the feet or on the hands. But on the face, you want 1 to 1. It's accurate, it's going to last long, and we know exactly what it's going to do. Some off-label uses, which is very interesting, is you have the platysmal bands and the neck. So people who have really cordy necks, that's what makes them look older. That's what ages people. So what we can do is soften that up, and we can put some Botox in those bands specifically, and that lightens that up. They look younger. You see before and after. TMJ, or really strong masseter muscle. These are your masseter muscles. You put some Botox in each muscle there. Look at how her face just softened it up, because now it's not so square anymore. And then gummy smiles. So gummy smiles, all you need is a little Botox on the top of your lip, and that will make it so that it doesn't go up so high, and then you won't have a gummy smile. So I have a friend that just got hers done. She went to this place, and she came back, she's like, you were not my friend because you never told me I had a gummy smile. I had no idea. so if you see somebody with a gummy smile, say, you might need a little Botox on the top. But what people don't know, this is one thing that I think that takes the veil off of Botox, is hospitals are the largest purchasers of Botox. They use it in vats, if you will. I mean, they still buy it in the vials, but they buy a ton of Botox because they use it in the OR. They use it for overactive bladder, urinary incontinence, tremors, any kind of uncontrolled motion for muscle. They can help with that, and they just inject the Botox right into the muscle, and it will make the muscle not move as quickly, or they can put enough to disable it if they need to. So these are some great medical uses for Botox that I see all the time in hospitals. Yes?
Sorry to interrupt, I have a quick question. Stroke pain. As I was visiting with you, my father had a stroke.
Yep.
And he's got sensitivity issues on half his
Yes.
body from it.
Yep.
How does that counteract a stroke pain? Is that what it's?
Yes, and he can talk to his doctor, insurance may cover it as well. And see if there's certain nerves or certain muscles in that area, they can take that down. So the aging process, you are losing, I hate to give you this bad news, fat and bone loss since the age of 35. It starts to really go down after 50. And so as you can see, the face, you want it to be of up V, where when you get to the age level of like around 65, you're now at a square. So to prevent that from happening, you will want to do some Botox, but filler is where the game is changing. And fillers have been around about the same time as Botox. It's very interesting. They both kind of came on the scene at the same time. Now in the 70s, they had derma fillers, but they were like collagen, some of it was silicone. That was a way no-no. And so in the 70s, they started playing with it, but by the early 2000s, they introduced hyaluronic acid, so HA. That's when the game changed. And Restylane was the first. Allergan, who owns Botox, came right after them. There are different fillers for different areas of the face, and that means different durations. Some fillers last 2 years, some last 6 months, some last a year. On average, they're about a year. And they just inject in those areas to fill those fat pads and lift the face. So the FDA started approving this in 2007 for 21 and over. Now, if you're under 21, usually the medical clinic will then give you a waiver or some type of informed consent and waiver that you need to sign if you're under 21. But hyaluronic acid, all it is a sugar that is in the body tissue, and what it does is it combines with water and it swells. So when I take a syringe of filler, it's clear, it looks like a gel, and depending on the type of filler it is, it might be a little bit more dense, a little bit more loose, depending on where it goes, and if it's gonna bond with the bone or if it's gonna be more, subdermal. So this is my before and after, before filler. I had to put myself out there because you gotta live it and you gotta show what the truth is. So I had Botox. I have no wrinkles on my forehead, but I'm really hollow under the eyes. I have no lips, they're shriveling up, no cheeks. My face is getting long. I'm starting to get the square face because I'll start to get jowls. She put filler in, my injector put in that, and put filler in the cheeks, lips, and in the nose. My nose is a little crooked. She could straighten that out. So that is what filler can do. I still look like me. I don't look crazy, but maybe I do and you just haven't told me. But it really is, it does lighten and it gives you more of an awake, more alert, but also a refreshed, youthful look. This is turning back the clock. Look at how amazing the difference is for the fillers. She just looks a lot younger in her after picture, same here. So this just gives you an idea about what it looks like, how long it lasts. Now there are enzymes you can use to dissolve it. Filler in the nose and chin. You can do filler in the nose without doing a rhinoplasty. So you do not have to have all that surgery and break your nose and do all the craziness. It takes 5 minutes, it lasts 2 years. Every med spa is around $900 to $1,000 to get that done. Nose or chin. A lot of men, and women too, the chin just kind of falls off or just kind of cuts off. We build it back up. That's what med spas and different hospitals can do that. So this is very interesting how the nose and the chin can be taken care of in 5 minutes for about under $1,000. Now lips are a hot trend right now because of the Kardashian effect. A syringe of filler is the size of a blueberry. When you inject it all out, it's about the size of a blueberry. It's not a lot. People think, oh, a whole syringe in your lips. That's nothing. I got 2 syringes. So she's probably got 3 or 4. But it does make a difference, but that lip filler and just fillers in general, it can totally enhance your look, but the millennials love the lips. That's a big trend right now in the industry that we're seeing. But when you combine Botox and fillers, you turn back the clock, you can see here how nice she looks. She still looks like her, he still looks like him. They just look a little less worn, they look a little younger, maybe 5, 10 years off, shaved off, and you still look natural. That's what I love about injectables. It's not a permanent thing like when you're having surgery. So I live by these rules, or this is how I think, I should say, is after going through COVID and seeing, what is done to a lot of people mentally, physically, financially, that we have to have self-care. And self-care for me is self-preservation. It is important. So, when you take care of you, now you can take care of others. And, when you have confidence, I feel you can do anything. You stand taller, you walk taller, you have confidence. People want to be around you. You attract the people you want to be around. So it's important to understand that Botox and fillers doesn't have to be this no, like, oh my goodness, that's horrible, would never do that. I was that person. I said I would never put Botox in my face. I was the judge of that all the time. Now I'm like, okay, I get it. This can be life-changing because it can change your confidence. It can change the trajectory of your life and where you're going in your business and in your personal life and how you just support your community. So I hope this supports you today and lifts that veil for you and takes away the fear of Botox and fillers. So I thank you all for having me today, and I hope it supports you. Thank you.